What is going on, guys? It is Jay Gaming back with another video, and in today's car mechanic simulator video, I'm going to show you guys how to make your own custom car in car mechanic simulator. Basically, if you want to take an in-game car, and say if you're making like a sweet build and you want to slam your car with a certain size wheel, or if you want to add bonus parts that's not in the game. Like if you want to add bonus parts to a car in the game and it doesn't have a spot in the car for it, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So pull up your library, go to your collections, go to Car Mechanic Simulator, right click, go to Manage, Browse Local Files. Now when you do press Browse Local Files, it's going to pull up this right here. Now you go right here to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 data. Go down to Streaming Assets. Make sure you make a copy of your cars folder, just in case if you mess anything up. You always have your copy, your backup. So go in here, find the car you want. Like we're going to do the Bolt Cape Mark 7. So you want to go in here, make a copy of your body config file. That way you can make another variant of the car. So I believe that's what I did here. That's why there's two body configs. So after you make that, after you make the copy of the body config, you go back over here to play. Make sure you hit launch car editor. Now car editor, for those of y'all who don't know, car editor is a it's a car editing software. So you wait for your car to load in. You'll sit here looking at the screen for a good little second. But after this loading process is done, you will be able to go down here to where it says option A, and you could pick any car in the game. Really, any car in the game. But for this video, we're going to do Bolt Cape Mark 7. The same one. Mostly you want to find the car that you did the, you copied the body config. So say I copied the Bolt Cape Mark 7. So here, this other little drop down window here would be the different variants of the car. Now, change sky is just changing the background. Just different variants of the background. Alright. So, show body. Basically say if you were going to build a certain motor for the car and you want to move it up, down, left, right, whichever. And you want to see the motor. Yes, you could open the car, but you want to see it a little bit easier, or you want to mess with your springs a little bit easier, stuff like that. Show ENV. That's your environment. So basically, hitting that will make your car, make it look like you're in Blender. For those who are real deal modders, you could do that. Show lifter. That's your two post lift from the shop. On this side you have car stripping, so that starts actually blowing the car out, taking parts off the car. Explode car, that opens it up just like in game. Sit inside is where you get a full inside look on your car. Now, for those of y'all who are wondering, since I keep doing it and I haven't mentioned it yet, moving around. Most people would think, oh, you just grab the left, click the left on the mouse, whatever. No, you press and hold right on the mouse to look around, and just like in game, AWDS is moving around And then Q and E is up and down. So, very simple. So over here, like I said, car stripping is taking all the parts off the car. Explode the car is opening the doors. Set inside is sitting inside. Changing color is playing with your liveries and paint and everything. Dents. Dents is like what you would find in the junkyard. Dents, your dust, your rust, and all that. Just see what the car would look like. Maybe for newbies, so you can figure out, oh, I want this car, what is it going to look like, so I can know what to keep an eye out for. There you go. So up here we have main. Main is where you get your car name, your rust mask, your scale, so sizing the body. If you want to make it smaller, you want to make it bigger, whatever. Brand name, of course, you already know brand name. Rotation, I think that would be turning the actual car body if you want to do something like that. Suspension. Suspension, the first 5 or 6 here, first 6, would be what kind of suspension do you want on this car? Do you want double wishbone? Do you want solid powered? Whatever. If you want air suspension, simple stuff. Front axle start and wheelbase. So these two here move your front and rear tires forward and backwards. Front axle start, it's in the name, moves the front axle forward, backward. Wheelbase, for most people that know about trucks, forward and backwards. Front and rear track, that is moving your tires in and out. The offset of your tires, moving them in and out. Height, front and rear, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, this whole application is pretty much self-explanatory. Front spring length. So when you see me slam the car just then, you see the springs showing through the hood. That's when you would explode or even remove the body, and then you can actually make the springs shorter, or if you want to raise it up, you could make the springs taller. And then stiffness, say you're making a drift car, or you're making a donk or whatever, stiffness, when you go around a sharp turn and your car kind of leans into it, that way your car doesn't lean in. You already know. It's, like I said, self-explanatory. Let's reload the car here. Engine. Your position, forward, backwards, up, down. Rotation, you should already know what that means. Value. Scale value. It's making the motor bigger or smaller. Say you want to get this car, but you want to put a V12 in it, or you want to put a V10 Viper, and it's too big or it's too small. There you go. Type. Now this is where you would put your LS3 supercharged. Let me move over where you can see it. Your LS3 or your Hellcat. Well, I seen Hemi. Your Hellcat motor, or say if you just want to go ridiculous and throw a V12 Zonda, or a Pagani Huayra, or like I mentioned, if you want to put a Viper motor in it, So parts. So basically, say like if you had put a Hellcat motor, and you don't want the basic Bolt Cape Mark 7 exhaust, you want a Hellcat exhaust, that's where you would do it, right here. So instead of V8B, you would go down and find V8 Hellcat, which I believe that would be up, but V8 Hellcat. Or say you want to put intercoolers in the front, that's where you would do it. Any parts, any add-on parts, you'll put right here. Bonus parts. Now, bonus parts, I know I just said any add-on parts, but That's add-on, like actual parts. Now, bonus parts is stuff like police lights, um, spoilers, hood scoops, whatever. So this is just a few. Um, this is just a few, examples. But say like you want to do police lights or stuff like that. You wanted to put the roof rack or whatever. You could do all that with this. Now, if you're not too sure, like if these just say dummy and you're not too sure on which one is which, like which part is which, you would hit this little green magnifying glass on each three of them, and it will pop up your arrows around it. And also, when it comes to adding bonus parts, it will pop up as roof taxi sign. Now, usually they would be inside the car like this, so you just play with your Y, bring it all the way up. What I usually do is bring it all the way up, rather outside the car or high enough in the window where I can see it, and then move it forward or backwards, whichever way. Interior. Now, interior is, say you don't want the Bolt Mark 7 seats. You could put Hellcat seats or Zonda seats or whatever, whatever seats you want to put in the car. Just make sure you know the name, or if you don't know the name, make sure you know what name the seat is. And you could do position, rotation, I don't know, but position, scale, height, and you could do that for driver, passenger, bench, even your steering wheel. You can do that for steering wheel too. Position, rotation, scale, all that. So, other. Now, other is something that a lot of people don't quite want to mess with, but it's there for you. Year. You could change the year of your car. I mean, I don't know who would want to do that, especially on older cars. But transmission type. Now, a lot of people would want to do this: front wheel, rear wheel, or all wheel. Weight. Basically, how heavy you want your car to be, especially like drifting. Drifting is all about subtraction of weight. There you go. Brake mod, not too sure. I think it's how easily a car will stop. And CX, I'm not too sure what CX stands for. Dial name. I'm pretty sure dial name is basically your game folder already has a compilation of dials in the game, like your RP, what is it? Your gauge cluster. So I think dial name, you put in a certain dial name, and it will, like when you go to test track, it will pop up, on the bottom right hand side. Speed track, I mean. RPM max and minimum, speed max and minimum. Not too sure on what those are for. Or the RPM max to scale. I haven't played with those yet. Lifter arm angle and rise. That is basically, how high you want the lifter to raise your car and stuff. The, your two-post lift. Door angle is how wide you want the door to come open. Pretty self-explanatory on that one. Now, this one here is pretty self-explanatory, and I would want you to pay attention to these green check marks. This is where you would want the car to spawn in-game. So, basically, when you first start playing on PC, a lot of cars that are in the salon on console are not in the salon on PC, and would have you thinking like, okay, what the hell is going on? Well, this is a kind of a key point, because this car, it wasn't even in my salon. until I came here and checked that it was a red, red X. So I hit it. Um, allowed colors. Allowed colors is basically what color your car is going to spawn in as at the at the salon or junkyard or auction, whatever. Engine torque mod. Now, torque mod and RPM mod, a lot of people, this is what I say a lot of people may not want to mess with, but, if you're curious, engine uh, torque mod and engine RPM mod. Now, this is your final torque mod is basically like a Hellcat wide body factory. The 6.2 Hemi is 707. Now, say you set that torque mod to 1.9 thousand. That factory power is no longer going to be 707. It's going to be more or less 1,200 and something. Basically just to buff your factory power. Like, I recently downloaded a mod for a Charger RT on a Challenger RT Hellcat mod, and when I found it in the barn, it was 22,000 horsepower. So, just play around with that. And make sure you hit save. Always hit save. If you go through these tabs and you change something, always hit save. Now, now you would want to go over to wheels. Now, wheels is pretty much, like I said, everything is pretty much self-explanatory. So, wheels. This is where you make sure you know which rim you want to before you do this. So, wheels is pretty much, you go through here, you pick out which rim you want your car to spawn in with. And after you do so, you pick which tire you want your car to spawn in with. Or, if you have the time of day, just go through here and, one by one. Okay, yeah, I don't like that one. Oh, I like that one. And then you have your front wheel width, how wide you want your tire to be, how big you want your tire to be. You want it big, you want it small. Oh, your rim, your tire, big or small. Make sure you always hit save, especially if you go over 26, like 29, 32, 38. Make sure you always hit save. Same for the rear. Make sure you always hit save after you get done, especially if it's over 26 or 25. Make sure you always hit save, because you'll be mad if you spend all this time modifying the wheels and then all of a sudden you get in game and they're not there, so you have to come back here and restart. Drive shaft, pretty self-explanatory. You do a engine modification and you get a engine that has a bigger trans or a smaller trans or whatever, and your actual drive shaft is too small or it's too long and you want it to look good. I don't know why, but you want it to look good. This is where you would do that. Scale it, make it bigger, smaller, skinnier, fatter, length, longer, shorter. Rotation, I'm not too sure why you would have a rotation. Actually, rotation would be, because a lot of times if you start it, if you put the drive shaft, it will be pointing out to the side. So yeah, make sure you play with those. Logic. Now, logic, I'm not too sure what logic stands for. I'm not too sure what you do in the logic menu. Tuning. Tuning is what liveries you want the car to spawn in with. So say if you want it to be red dot police department, you want it to be red dot city sheriff's department every time you see it in the junkyard or barn. Don't know why you would want to do that either. Exterior. So say you do not want your car, Like, you don't want to run a license plate, but then again, you don't want your car to be 98%. You want it all 100%. That's where you would do this. So, front license plate, you come in and you select dummy. Or say anybody out there that is from overseas, where you do not have the small American license plate. You have the big long license plate, like on BMWs in Germany. And that's the license plate that sticks with that car its whole life. And, if you're from over there and that's just something you really enjoy or something you really like about cars, and you don't like how American plates are, or even Americans that want to make a BMW with a German license plate or whatever, that's where you could do that at with your exterior. But now, and like I said, one last time, make sure you always hit save down here. Now, I promised this video the other day when I showed off my custom build, and I said I was going to explain it. I know I'm a few days late, but I'm going to show you. If anybody who did not see my last video of showing off my custom build, we're going to go to Bolt Chapman, the box Chevy, the in-game box Chevy, if you will, because I've tried it with the mod box Chevy and it didn't work. So I've changed it to Chevrolet Caprice. So you got the Bolt Chapman F Mill, then the two mods, the custom and the twin turbo. But Hood Donk, now this one is my custom build. It is a Bolt Chapman with a Hellcat motor. Has the Hellcat air filter, and it also has the Hellcat transmission, Hellcat exhaust, everything Hellcat, just about. Hellcat seats and steering wheel. Like I said, just about everything Hellcat. I just wanted something kind of funny. Since I have the drag racing DLC and I watch a lot of Donk Master, I wanted a big wheel racing. So I went with the 34s with drag slicks. I went with 34 drag slicks, and also just to be a little, little out there, I went ahead and added. Well, it's not gonna show, but you've seen it if you watched the last the custom build video. You've seen I had dual subwoofers, condenser, amplifier on the trunk. I had the NOS bottle with the boost switches and the touchscreen radio, and I mentioned the turbo under the hood, like Donk Master, the big trash truck turbo, jokingly. Just a couple things. Now I just want to show you this. This is my custom build. You don't have to do this or anything. Just your own personal opinion. So with that being said, guys, I hope this video kind of showed you a little insight on Car Editor, and it breaks it down a little bit to kind of help you understand if this is something you want to get into to make your gaming experience a little bit easier or a little bit better, especially if you're new to the game, because OGs, I guess you probably already knew about this like a while back, but if you're new to the game, this is something you can get into. Now, don't come for me. I know it said I only have 70 hours, but I have played on console for like thousands of hours. So, I know my rules and ropes around it. But anyways, with all that being said, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification for daily Car Mechanic Simulator videos. And make sure you go check out some of our other videos. Let's go ahead and get this channel up off the ground, guys, because it's been some years since I did YouTube. So let's go ahead and run these subscribers up. And like I said, I'll see you in the next video. I'm Jay Gaming, and I'm out. Bye bye.